we do have the light blue Terran player, the newest challenger coming up here to try to dethrone his opponent. It is aTn.ClouD. And over at the 7 o'clock position of the map, we do have the Red Zerg player currently sitting high atop that pedestal. Several times throughout the set, I thought he was going to get knocked down, but he just seems to keep on going. It is Acer.Nerchio.
Yeah, Nerchio playing fantastic that last game. Just dealing with all the drops so well, absorbing everything. That's kind of why I made the water reference. Just absorbing everything that came his way, seeming to eke out an advantage in almost every engagement. Even though DPS was playing an excellent game, he was macroing like a beast. He was dropping everywhere. But Nerchio totally capable of dealing with it. And like you said at one point during the last cast, just such an intelligent move to leave behind a few Banelings and Zerglings right where the drop potential was. You know, right after the 8 Marines come down, you've already got 3 Banelings and 6 Zerglings right there. Cleans it up immediately.
And you made a
little things like that.
You made a really smart point too, Pain User. I mean, you're always making smart points.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
But this one was really, really cool. The huge mistake that the last Terran made. Why pull out your medevacs and then send them right back into Corruptors? If you had just kept running away, you could have unloaded them and saved those units to fight another day. And when a game's that close, every unit counts and matters so much.
And 6 tanks are not cheap.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Very, very expensive. And there's a lot of time expense as well. They take a long time to build, and it's one of those things where you really just want to keep accumulating numbers. You want to build the count up, and then they reach a point where they are just absolutely deadly.
Critical mass is what we're talking about.
Exactly. That, well, you know, Marines just supplement them so well that you don't necessarily need a critical mass against Zerg, but I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt, especially if they're going something like, you know, Ling, Bling, Infestor, Ultra. The Broodlords are really what kind of render the tanks useless.
Now, you guys can't see my face, but I'm actually a little weirded out right now because Nerchio hasn't grabbed a natural yet. Now he's going to get the natural. That was a pretty late natural expansion from Nerchio, and he's making a lot of Zerglings. 6 Zerglings here. And he did not, I mean, there's no CC first here. I think if Cloud had gone CC first, these Zerglings could have done some potential damage.
Here's the thing, though. He is building the CC on the low ground. He might be able to pick off this SCV.
That's true.
And thereby force a cancel on it, which would be absolutely huge, in which case you're going to have to eat your words because what Nerchio did is brilliant.
That's a great point.
And he might be able to do it.
Well, the thing is, Cloud can just pull all of his SCVs here to help defend it.
Yes, he can. He might take some SCV losses, though, which is also a plus for Nerchio.
For sure. And we'll see what happens here. It looks like the Marines are coming out. He's going to have to micro really well. Cloud gets a 3rd Marine. Oh, that Marine coming out at a great time, but he loses a few SCVs. He might lose that one as well. Oh, ooh. Just barely gets away. Only 1 SCV has gone down so far. Make that 2.
2 SCVs go down, and let's talk about the build time of this natural expansion. And he might even slow it down a little bit more here. No, it looks like he's finally going to pull out of there. So delayed the 2nd orbital by, you know, maybe an extra 30 seconds there. Took out 2 SCVs.
Does it justify getting a later natural? Well, I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, but Nerchio has balanced it out, counterbalanced it by saying, well, I'm just going to double expand now.
Yeah, and, you know, another kind of added side effect of that opener from Nerchio is that he delayed the reactor on the barracks for quite some time. You know, he's just now finishing that reactor because he had to produce the Marines to get rid of those Zerglings, and he wasn't able to start the reactor as early as he wanted.
Meaning Hellions are later.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's actually a really good decision of Cloud, I think, not to start that reactor so early on until he scouted and figured out exactly what was going on. Most players will get out, you know, 1, maybe 2 Marines at most, and then start the reactor right away after the factory. Right. In which case, I think he would have been in a lot of trouble when those Lings showed up. So it was kind of an interesting gamble on Nerchio's part. I wouldn't really say that either of the things we said happened.
Well, we're just theory crafting here, man.
Oh, absolutely.
As casters, that's our job.
Absolutely. I think they kind of both came out neutral there.
Yeah. But had, for example, Cloud made the reactor, then he could have taken huge damage, like you said, just theory crafting. And you know what? Had Cloud made a CC first, he would have been in so much trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that might have been another thing Nerchio was banking on.
Yeah.
If it had been a CC first, you're going to do a ton of damage in a situation like that.
For sure.
No doubt about it.
It does look like now we have a natural transition from Nerchio. He's actually added on several roaches here, but it's not going to be an offensive roach strike. It's just purely for defensive purposes. I'm a little curious. I'm a little curious about the roaches here, Pain User, and you talk to me about this, man.
He's just using them to defend Hellions.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, most Zergs now are just going with 6 queens to help spread creep and defend Hellions. So the roaches, your thoughts on that?
Well, we noticed this last game. Nerchio likes to cover his bases, and we also noticed that he doesn't like to get as many queens as other people. He went up to 4, and I think eventually went up to 5. Had 2 in the midfield and 1 at each of his hatcheries when he was on 3 base. So, you know, maybe he's just not a believer that the 6 queen strat is really the way to go, and he likes to cover all the bases, like I said. Having the roaches is really nice in case of any kind of marine, SCV, Hellion all in.
Yeah, it's certainly safer.
But just having the Roach Warren period, I think, is a really, really nice thing to have. And now we do have quite the pack of Hellions here. He also got Cloaked Banshees, and they're making their way across the map as we speak. And he's following this up with a quick 3rd and 2 armories. Very, very interesting build here coming out of Cloud. So he's definitely going to be going mech here.
It's not Heart of the Storm yet. Cloud, slow down.
Mech is still actually very, very good.
Yeah, it is.
And if he's able to get this 3rd up unscathed, and oh no, this is what happened in the first game of the series. No Spore Crawlers at the natural because you figure, hey, I'll put Spore Crawlers at my 3rd and my main, and he's probably not going to be able to find a way into the natural, but he has indeed. And we do have Hellions making their way into the 3rd right now. Going to try and roast some drones here. How many will he get?
Looks like he's gotten 10 so far. Not a bad number at all for those Hellions.
I think he should have microed those Hellions a little bit more, though.
Well, these Banshees are still alive, and he can still get a lot of drone kills, but the Spore Crawlers come up, and now those queens are going to be able to start to go to work with the detection provided by the Crawler. 1 Spore inside the main as well. Nerchio currently sitting at only 2 queens, and this is where I have to make a counterpoint. Maybe if Nerchio had gone 6 queens, he would have been better retrofitted to help fend off the Banshees, but it looks like Cloud is going to pull away anyways.
Yeah, and I still think Nerchio did a great job dealing with it regardless. He had enough Spore Crawlers, he relocated them, built a few extra ones at the natural, and now we do have the first factories here starting to come down for Cloud. He really doesn't have that many units out on the map. He better hope for his sake that Nerchio doesn't decide to go for some sort of an aggressive play here, but it looks like he's just going to continue to drone up after losing those, what was it, 10, 11 drones that got taken out there?
Yeah, well, we're taking a look at the tab right now. It looks like 12.
Damn.
Close, Pain User. No dice. But I think Cloud feels some security that he has the Banshees right now. So any Roach Zergling attack can be pushed away by the Banshees. I think that's why Cloud pulled back, because he realized, hey, I just lost all my Hellions, and if any Roaches and Zerglings knock on my front door right now, I have nothing to defend with. So he pulled the Banshees back, and he's repairing them back up right now. And he's, like you said, adding on more factories, the double armory for the mech upgrades, and it looks like we're gonna have Thors, but no tank upgrade for siege mode. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just gonna go, and no blue flame. Usually you get like Thor blue flame or Thor and tank. There we go. So we got siege mode.
There goes siege mode. Right.
Still
no blue flame though, and blue flame is definitely a very, very nice upgrade to have to help deal with any packs of Lings. And we have our first pack of Lings making its way out onto the field right now. 28 hitting the creep line, and 1-1 is about to finish for those Zerglings, so they will have 1-1 completed, but
the mech already has 1-1.
The mech already has 1-1, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him start 2-2 pretty soon here. He is going to deny that hatch in the middle.
Get the cancel, no!
No. Those Banshees just doing a ton of DPS right there. He does have 3.
That's very un-Nerchio-like.
Wow, he's just going to rebuild it right in the face of those Banshees.
Well, this map is actually quite problematic for Zerg. Very hard to get the gold expansion or the middle expansion on Antigua Shipyard, but he sends in a counterattack of Zerglings. And how many worker kills can he get here? Only 3.
Yeah, and the Hellions in position, and the Rock's still up, so yeah, those Zerglings are not long for this world. They're like,
Where do I go? I'm getting a little claustrophobic in here, guys.
Why don't these damn wings let me fly?
Well, you're not a tiny bird. Guys, I just want to mention once again, the gold expansion on this map, whether it's gold or blue, it is very important, but it's really hard for Zerg to hold.
Well, I mean, it's kind of an interesting philosophy here from Nerchio to go ahead and drop that gold. I mean, oh, is he going to get the fungal off on those Banshees? That would be huge.
He does get the fungal off, but
Oh,
there's
God.
a bunch of Hellions here.
Needs to
And
be
Blue
careful.
Flame is about to finish, but he gets a fungal off to keep the Hellions away. Can he burrow? Does he have burrow? He does.
Yeah, but I mean, the Banshee's just doing so much damage here. A bunch of Infestors going down.
He needs to burrow his Infestors. I'm not sure why he's not burrowing them to keep them out of harm's way. It looks like he has still enough energy for a couple more fungals.
Nerchio just doesn't have any units to deal with this.
Yeah,
This
and
push from Cloud is
where's the
doing a
Infested
ton of
Terrans?
damage.
There we go. Infested Terrans are coming out. I think with the Infested Terrans, he should be able to hold this off, but he doesn't have detection.
Oh, no.
Wow, Cloud with a Collector's Edition Thor push and Banshees and Blue Flame Hellions. Really weird timing, right when 1-1 finished, but it just plowed through the gold expansion.
Yeah, you know, and having this many Banshees is really the sort of new style of mech that, you know, I'd like to say pioneered by MVP. He had been trying to find a way to mech really work for quite some time, and he had been struggling in the GSL every time he tried to go mech. Zerg players would drop a ton of roaches directly onto his mech army or wait for him to move out, drop a ton of roaches in the main, start killing your production. But his sort of answer and solution to that was to start adding more than 2 Banshees. But here we go. Nerchio trying to hold this off, sending in forces from all directions. Great flank. Does he have enough to push this back? I don't know. The Thors holding their ground.
I think he might have enough with the help of the Infested Terrans. No, he busts through a few of the Thors.
The Banshees, man. The Banshees.
They help out quite a bit, and now Nerchio needs to bring his Infestors out to help fight. You can't be cowards hiding underground now. We need your help.
Oh, wow. Is Nerchio going to hold this?
I think he might just, man. He just killed off the last Banshee, it seems like. But that tank and Thor doing quite a bit of damage, and now Nerchio building up a large army of roaches. He will have enough to break the tanks and the Thors. And as Terran, as mech, man, or even as bio, but especially as mech, when you lose your whole army, it's so hard to rebuild.
It really is.
This is the whole army of
back
Cloud
to mid.
Right,
we have another engagement and a few siege tanks in the midfield here for Cloud, and he's really just trying to keep control and maintain control over that middle position on this map, and it's so important. That's literally what Antigua Shipyard is all about. It's all about maintaining control over the mid position on this map. You can see pretty much everything. You can attack any point on the map from the midfield.
And you control the golds.
And you control the golds. It just gives you such an excellent, excellent position. So that's why we see both players so aggressively trying to take a foothold in the middle of the map. And, you know, whoever comes out on top in this tug of war, I think, you know, will have a great position in this game.
I hate to say it, but I think Terran has a distinct advantage when it comes to holding down a location. As a Terran player, you have a lot of options when it comes to playing defensive, turtling up, and you can planetary the gold as well. So if Cloud can get siege tanks and planetary that location, he's going to be in a very prime spot to hold that upper plateau. But it looks like Nerchio's coming in with roaches right now. He's got other ideas, but he doesn't have enough roaches to bust through this tank line, Pain User. Meanwhile, though, he gets a counterattack with some roaches and Zerglings. He's going to kill off a bunch of workers here.
Yeah, he really is. Fresh Mule going down as well.
And
these
I'm
roaches.
just gonna check the kills on these roaches. Oh, wow. Fresh Mule's being called down.
Ooh, I don't know. Ooh, it burrows those roaches. Gonna save them for a rainy day, but a turret is going up right behind them, so they're like, oh, please, please, leave us alone.
We just want to kill those Fresh Mules.
We're having a chat down here.
Underground secret society.
Exactly.
Oh, here comes one Infestor into the middle. Just chilling for now.
The Infestor was communicating with those 3 roaches subterraneanly.
Subterraneanly?
That's a word. It's a thing, trust me.
Cloud's coming in here with the Hellions and the
Unsieged
tanks.
everything. Oh, God.
Oh, whoa.
Dear God.
Uh-oh.
Worst possible positioning imaginable.
I
Oh,
think
what
Cloud,
an engage.
I think Cloud is going to lose everything.
What an engage from Nerchio. I mean, Cloud was caught with his pants down out in the woods in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, oof. All the tanks having to siege with units right on top of them, and so much gas, so many units lost there for Cloud. But you know what's kind of crazy is we keep seeing Cloud lose these, you know,
Ginormous
relatively
armies.
large armies of mech, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for him. He's continued to upgrade.
He's just dusting it off his shoulder, man.
He has a ton of macro orbitals here.
Tanks.
And, you know, his worker supply is actually very low, and he's supplementing that by adding a ton of orbitals. So if he eventually can hit a max here, you know, he'll be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and he's got a huge window to play around with mech until Brood Lords come. The Spire just now started, so a few minutes before we will see Brood Lords on the map. And Cloud right now just trying to hold down the Planetary Fortress at the gold.
Is he going to get Nerchio's 5th over there on the right-hand side? He does have tanks in position, but they're not actually hitting the hatchery.
Yeah, he needs to
he really needs to scoot those up just a little bit.
These tanks are so exposed, though. They can die really easily to some burrowed roaches or something. But it looks like Nerchio's going to come in. Oh, he's going to break a ton of tanks.
And there's just so much going on the map right now. I don't think Cloud has he's been taxed to the limit. He does relocate those tanks. The Banshee's doing a great job screening for those tanks. Bad rally. Bad rally.
Oh, he's going to try to keep the tanks alive, but terrible rally there.
Proof that he wants the mid that bad.
It's that important, man. But I think Cloud just gave it up now. And now Zergling's running into the third one more time. One more time. And these SCVs are in so much trouble. Oh, this is starting to fall apart for Cloud. Once again, is Nerchio going to take another win for his team Acer?
Water Zerg, man.
Dude, he's just not dying.
Absorb the mech push. Come back with a tidal wave. I mean, he was just able to make so many things happen that game from a position where I felt like he was certainly behind. That initial push from Cloud looked great.
Yeah.
And, you know, somehow, some way, Nerchio finds a way to bring it back.
Dude, every game that we've casted of Nerchio right now, I believe at least every game, has been some really close, really epic games where I actually thought at several points Nerchio was losing and was probably going to lose.
But especially in this one, I think.
Especially in this one, sure. And he just doesn't lose. He's coming in here with so many forces. He will kill more tanks.
So many tanks.
Look at these two tanks.
I know.
Oh, that tank at 1 HP has 13 kills.
Oof.
Sergeant Bob is staying alive right now in that tank, man.
Yeah, he might have to jump out. It's not good to be inside of a burning vehicle. But
well, luckily, Terran vehicles don't burn. That's only structures, okay?
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Like, would you really want Blizzard to consider allowing Terran units to burn?
Are you kidding me?
That'd be awesome, actually, as a Zerg player.
I'm sure it would. Bunch of Lings going down here in the midfield to these Blue Flame Hellions. But, you know, I'd say Nerchio has been winning the tug of war. He's finally getting that gold up. He does have his 4th up over on the left-hand side, but you know, Nerchio's running out of money here.
Oh, he just lost so many infestors.
Yeah. He's losing a lot of roaches as well. Infested Terrans looked like they had been cleaned up there. Is he going to get all these tanks?
This game is getting really scrappy, guys. He is going to be able to get several tanks here. But he lost a lot of infestors. I just want to pull the units tab right now. He's only got 4 infestors on the map.
Yeah, man. And the thing is you know, even though Cloud has lost a redonkulous amount of mech units.
Look at the units and resources.
Yeah, he's continuing to throw away Zerglings, roaches, infested Terrans, infestors. You know, he's just throwing wave after wave after wave. But he's never managed to kill this PF at the gold.
Sergeant Bob. Still chilling.
Still alive.
He's now Captain. Captain Bob.
Still alive.
And he's hiding in the back, man. He's a smart captain. And captains never go in the front of the lines of war.
Oh, I would never follow that captain into battle, man. The captain's got to lead the way. Now, Cloud slowly inching his way towards control over the middle here. And if he's able to do that, he can pretty much siege out the gold location for Nerchio, in which case Nerchio's in a lot of trouble. Cloud also has the middle right-hand side 3rd expansion, PFing that right now as we speak.
It looks like a hatchery wants to battle for real estate.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, you don't want to try to take land away from a planetary.
Big Bertha is about to give that drone a taste of its medicine.
But Zerglings here coming in.
Those Lings too. Oh.
Big Bertha is doing lots of damage here.
I don't know if she can handle all these roaches and infested Terrans, though.
SCV's coming in. Whoa.
Now, is Cloud going to use this opportunity to siege out the gold? No, he's not. What's he going to do? He's continuing to fortify his position at the gold, it looks like.
Yeah, he's sieging out the gold right now, just barely from here. But it looks like the Hellions are going to go down. Oh, and he finds the expansion on the left-hand side. Ooh, you get any drone kills here? I don't know, Pain User. I don't know why I'm whispering either. It looks like he's going to get about 4 or 5. Not bad. And I think slowly, Cloud is getting his advantage back in this game. Now, here's a real question. Is Nerchio going to be able to mount another sick comeback like water?
I don't know, man. We'll have to see. I mean, all these macro orbitals are just playing a huge factor for Cloud right now, and he continues to leapfrog his tanks closer and closer to home base for Nerchio. Nerchio has been so strapped for cash and gas this entire game that he hasn't been able to make that Broodlord transition. I believe he has a Greater Spire, but you know, he just hasn't. Does he have a Greater Spire? Check. He doesn't have a way. Nope. He hasn't even been able to get to Hive yet. So
yeah, that's interesting. That means he's still stuck on 2-2.
Well, there are no Thors out on the field, so a Muta transition might not be a bad idea. But we do have Vikings starting to make their way on the field here, and man, I mean, Cloud is just sort of constricting the life out of Nerchio here. I mean,
oh, I love those infested Terrans, though. And I must find Captain Bob. I think he died.
No.
I think he died. Oh, maybe that was him.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he wouldn't be in the front lines.
I think he's done. I think he's done for.
It looks like Nerchio here is in a lot of trouble. I don't know why he sent everything into the corner here, because now he's in a lot of trouble.
Wow, man, I think Cloud's got this.
Yeah.
Here we go. Nerchio sending the remainder of his infestors out, trying to get infested Terrans on all these tanks.
GG!
Cloud does it. Wow.
Oh, that was so sick.